What's up guys, my name is Liam and today we're going to be taking a look at the Kysona Aztec. This is a new updated version of the M600, a mouse that I've been getting lots of requests to review on my channel. So how have they changed it, and more importantly, is this going to be the perfect gaming mouse for you? Let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know this was sent out to me. However, everything you're going to be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Included inside the box, it does come with a user manual, this USB-C cable, and the mouse itself does have the dongle stored right down here in the bottom middle. The bottom functions are the same as before. Up here you do have the power button. This does have Bluetooth if you push it over to the right. The receiver over to the left, keep in the middle to turn it off. The DPI button is over here, and this is the mode. This has the exact same skate design as before. I actually do enjoy this skate design myself. You can fit dots on here nicely if you were looking to do so. And the skates that come on here, they are okay compared to the original M600. They do feel a little bit softer. These ones felt a little bit more harsh, but I did feel like these were a little quicker, and I do feel like these are a little bit more slower and controlled. Everything over here at the top feels pretty similar to me for the most part in terms of the type of build quality. Great solid build quality on both of these mice. I didn't get any type of bending, creaking, anything like that at all. They did kind of change up the loadout right here. They got rid of this LED. I kind of like this design a little bit more. Seems a little bit more clean to me, but this is still just a straight plastic injection mold on the surface, so no type of additional coating is applied. And plastic mice, they work great for me. I kind of have drier set hands. I did mess around with getting my hands wet, and it does make the surface a little bit more slippery. It is overall a smoother feeling. You do feel a slight bit of texture there, but again, overall pretty smooth for the most part. They also did change the switches. The M600 had the Huano blue shell pink dots, just the original standard ones, not the transparent version. They actually did go with Huano purple shell white dots on here, and in all honesty, they do feel pretty good. I do feel like the implementation on them, it does feel a little bit lighter. The other ones felt just a little bit more clicky to me in the M600, but you do have a pretty good click feeling overall. There's a slight bit of play there, but nice solid click from the center. You do get more play when you come up here towards the front of the switch, and it doesn't really bottom out too much for me on the base there unless you're to push really hard. So pretty good on the pre and post travel for both of them. The click implementation all around, it feels pretty solid. When you do get back here in this area, it does get a bit more stiff and harder. I don't know a whole lot of people that play back here, but there are some that do with some type of a fingertip grip. So that's why I figured bring that up too. But the left to right play on here is pretty much non-existent. So all around, I feel like they have done a really good job on mouse 1 and 2. The scroll wheel does feel pretty similar to me as the M600 did, and overall feels pretty good. It does have defined steps. They are really on the lighter side, and the center click there is a little bit more on the stiffer end. I do like this rubber design on the wheel itself. It also does feel like they did change up the side buttons a bit, but I still am getting a little bit of play on them here. On the rear side button in the back, you do get quite a bit more play. A little bit less once you get here in the middle and towards the front. And they do feel pretty snappy. The bottom out here with the post travel, I kind of am feeling like some additional, almost like grinding there up against the switch, but nothing too bad. And when you go left to right, the play on it's pretty good. I do have a little bit of a different feeling though on the front side button. For whatever reason, it feels a little bit more stiff to me. Still getting a little bit of the same play, but I feel like it almost has like a more rubbery type of a feeling. It has a little bit slower of a rebound time. So I do feel like the side buttons could be buttoned up just a little bit more, but in game, they seem to work fine for me, and I didn't come across any major issues that I noticed. So let's go ahead and drop the click sound test. This does come with a 500 milliamp hour battery installed in it, so I kind of find that to be a little bit more of overkill for the fact that this only has a 1K polling rate. But if you do care a lot about battery life, that battery should last you an incredibly long time. The front to back and the left to right balance on my copy are all spot on and feel great. And when it comes to the overall weight, my scale is coming in at about 56.6 grams. One of the biggest differences with the Aztec over the M600 is they did actually update the firmware solution and the internals on this thing. On the M600 in the software, I was only able to drop the debounce setting down to 4 milliseconds. Since this one is using the Compex Former solution, really familiar software as we've seen in many of these other different types of mice. I do like the software a lot. It allows you to drop the debounce setting down to 0 milliseconds. On the next page, you can adjust your polling rate, DPI, and then I always recommend coming over to this final tab and enabling this long distance mode. This will give you the best wireless reception possible to ensure you're getting the best wireless performance. It does kind of cut down on the battery life, but considering the fact this does have a huge 500 milliamp hour battery in it, I wouldn't worry about that too much. Even though the Aztec is using the Compex Former solution, whereas the M600 was using Beacon, unfortunately I wasn't able to get the Beacon to read on my XLAT system. I tried several times and I couldn't get it to register, but I was able to get the Aztec to register on the XLAT. And where most Compex mice out there have been using the Nordic MCU, this is actually using a Broadcom MCU. So I did want to kind of stack it up and compare it to everything else that's out there. And I did notice that his performance felt a little bit behind the Nordic MCUs that are out there, but all around it still felt really solid to me in game. This is a very familiar shape, and it doesn't seem to me like there's any obvious noticeable changes between this and the M600. I'm actually pretty sure that it's the exact same, but this is all around a smaller form factor of a mouse. It's pretty close overall in comparison to the Razer Viper Mini. I've compared this shape to the Razer Viper Mini several times. Even taking a look at the latest Attack Shark, the size and shape of these looks like they're pretty much nearly identical to one another. So we'll go ahead and drop the comparison between both of these for you really quick. And next up, taking a look at it next to the Logitech G Pro Superlight, you can clearly tell that the Aztec is a much smaller mouse all around. The bottom, it does curve more aggressively than the G Pro Superlight, where it feels flatter, and it does feel more narrow in the center point with the grip width. It tapers off more aggressively down to the sides of the Aztec, so it feels more narrow even at the top of the mouse. And then looking at both of these from the side, the G Pro kind of has that slow taper down to the rear, where you do kind of have a bit more of a pronounced mid hump over here on the Aztec. And then finally, taking a look at it next to the G-Wolves HTS Plus, you can see the overall scale of these incredibly similar to one another. When you do put them together with the bottom profile, honestly, the curve profile on these feels almost identical to me. There's a little bit curve here flaring out slightly towards the front and the rear, and again, just about equal grip width. You do have a slightly more aggressive curve from the top middle down to the sides on the Aztec, and I do feel like on the HTS Plus that the mid hump is just much more aggressive than on the Aztec. Alright guys, so that wraps things up on the Kysona Aztec. This is coming in at $46.99. I do feel like there's a lot of competition out there at that price point for this mouse. All around, it is really good to use. I love the shape of it, and the feeling in hands is great. I do kind of feel like there is a little bit of missed opportunity here, putting such a heavy battery in here, the 500 milliamp hour battery. Again, I really feel like since this has a maximum pull rate of 1K, they probably could have dropped that down a lot more, still had a really long battery life, and kind of got the weight to be in range of some of the lighter options out there. And as far as the overall performance of this goes, I did ask them if they're coming out with a 4K dongle. They said they don't have any plans to do so right now. I do really feel like it'd make this a lot more competitive if they were to come out with a 4K option in the future and kind of put it in line with some of the other competition out there that's in the same price range. But if this is something that you're really interested in and looking at picking it up, I must say the shape on it is really great and the performance worked pretty well for me in game. Alright guys, so if you have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested to see more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.